So here at Parkrun, and today we're going to play a game of follow the leader. I'm going to see how long I can stay with the Parkrun leader.
3, 2, 1.
And we're underway, and yes, the leader right now is a man with a dog. Off to a quick start. We're already traveling at a 250 per kilometer pace. That dog is really traveling, and quickly passing man and dog is this fella in the orange shirt. So this is the new leader. This is the individual we're going to be following for the time being. And we're still going at a blistering pace of 320 minutes per kilometer. This definitely is not sustainable for me, so it's going to be a question of how long I can hang on to this pace. We're of course here again in Centennial Park in Sydney, Australia. I'm currently chasing a goal of a sub 17-minute 5K. That is the current project at the moment. Last time we finished with a time of 18 minutes and 34 seconds. Let's also see if we can get below this today. But the first objective is just to try and stay with the leader for as long as possible. And I don't really know how long this is going to be possible, but I'm going to push it as far as I can go. We're already 400 meters in and doing well so far. Current pace right now is around 340 minutes per kilometer, so this would translate to a 5K time of around 1820. So this is actually relatively comfortable right now, and I'm quite happy just to sit in behind the leader, and we'll see how long I can do this for. Oh, and what's that in the lower left-hand corner? It looks like the dog is making a reappearance. And is there a chance that man with dog might take the lead again? There we go! The dog is moving into the lead of the Parkrun, so I'm going to be following this dog for a while. Oh, but here we go, Green Shirt. This is the first time we're seeing Green Shirt. He has decided that it is time to make a surge. So we have a new Parkrun leader, we have Green Shirt, and my goal now is just to stay behind Green Shirt. And pace is actually still fairly comfortable. 345 minutes per kilometer, so that would translate to around an 1845. I know I can run an 1845, so right now I'm just hanging on behind Green Shirt, and honestly, I'm pretty comfortable. We're now hitting the first turn of the Parkrun and approaching the end of the first kilometer. Green Shirt is still leading the way. And what's this? Yes, it's the dog again. Man with dog has made a return. The dog is leading the Parkrun. I repeat, the dog is leading the Parkrun, and I am now going to be faithfully following man with dog for as long as I can. And this is now the end of the first kilometer. We've come through in a blistering pace of 334 minutes per kilometer. The dog is still leading Parkrun, and that's a very good time, especially for a dog. A 334 pace, that's around 18 minutes for a 5K. So phenomenal pace by this man, and especially by the dog as well. Okay, so we're now coming up into the wooded section, and this is the first 180-degree turn of the Parkrun. Man with dog is still leading the way. We are 1.3 kilometers into the run. Heart rate is sitting around 175 beats per minute, so that's a little bit higher than where I would want to sit for a half marathon, but honestly, it's still fairly comfortable. You can see that the pace is around 350 minutes per kilometer. This is still relatively okay. Now 1.8 kilometers into the run, we're making the second 90-degree turn of the race. And there are a couple turns on this course, so it is one of the reasons why Centennial Park is not known as the fastest park run in Sydney. Heart rate is starting to drift up a little, 177. My max heart rate is around 186, and whenever it gets into the 180s, that's when you know we're running short on time. I can't hold a heart rate in the 180s for very long at all, and if this pace starts to increase, we could be in trouble, but 345, that's going to be okay. And I'm starting to think at this point, I'm starting to dream, maybe today is my day to win a parkrun, even though that hasn't happened at all in the last 10 years. And right now, we're approaching the end of the second kilometer, 3:45. Again, this is relatively comfortable. Perhaps today is my day, but oh no, we have a surge. We have a new character. This is Blue Shirt, and Blue Shirt has decided to accelerate out of the second kilometer. Man with Dog has been left behind. We have two blue shirts. There's a light blue shirt and a dark blue shirt, and they have pushed the pace. The pace is now at 320 minutes per kilometer, and I can tell you that definitely is not sustainable. Heart rate has now gone into the 180s, and that is when it starts to be dangerous. We are now approaching danger zone. 320 pace. That came out of nowhere. Let's see how long I can keep following the two blue shirts. 2.4 Ks in now. The pace is still around 320, which is too fast for me. But it looks like this is the first time running this 5K for the leaders, and they don't know where they're going. Let's listen in.
Straight ahead. Turn around in about half a K.
Okay, I did let them know which way to go, which I guess was the right thing to do. Now 2.5 Ks into the run, so I've made it halfway and I'm still following the leader. We're now into the windy section of the park run through the rainforest, the first set of trees. There's one more set of trees to navigate. Have to slightly duck the head through the trees. I'm still following the two blue shirts, although they again have surged, and the pace 330. This is pushing it. This is pushing it. I'm having to work very hard. Let's listen into the breathing. You can tell just how hard I'm starting to work at this point. But this is actually very good training, because here's the reality. When I do eventually get close to a 17-minute 5K, it's going to be a tremendous effort. So I need to get used to really pushing beyond my limit. So the more that I can stay close to these two leaders, even though they're a bit faster than the pace I would go on my own, the more I can push into this feeling, the better. So it's now been about 800 meters since the two blue shirts did the surge, and the pace has dropped a little bit to 340, 345, but it's still uncomfortable. The heart rate is above 180. So again, this is the ticking time bomb zone. This is the zone when I simply cannot sustain it for very long. And there's a threat out on the course. We have some swans, but navigated the swans, and we're approaching the third kilometer turnaround at this point. And honestly, I'm quite happy that I'm still with the leaders into the 3K mark. And that is the third kilometer, and it's done in a time of 3 minutes and 35 seconds. Oh, but that turnaround has taken something away from me, and the two blue shirts are starting to surge ahead. Green shirt has also made a return. Let's see if I can hang on to this group. Pace is around 350 minutes per kilometer, but it feels quicker at this point, and oh no, there goes one other person past me. There goes white shirt, and the gap is opening up, and unfortunately, this might be it for sticking with the leaders. But overall, we're still going at a phenomenal pace. So the last time I did this Parkrun, I went through the first 3 kilometers in 11 minutes and 18 seconds. Today, we are through the first 3 kilometers in 10 minutes and 54 seconds. So that's a 24-second improvement compared to last time. Let's see if I can get home in a time that beats that 18:34 from last time. Can I get home below 18:34 and set a new PB for the year? But the challenge is that surge, those first 3 kilometers, it's taken a lot out of me, and the pace has dropped all the way down to 4 minutes per kilometer as we navigate the rainforest section, past one more set of trees right now, and the pace is still at that 4 minutes per kilometer. Heart rate, fortunately, is now below 180, so we're getting into a zone that is more recoverable, and maybe I'll be able to pick up some energy for a final surge in this race. Now approaching the end of the 4th kilometer, pace is still around 4:05 minutes per kilometer. Let's see how much damage was done in this 4th kilometer. And the 4th kilometer comes out to a 3:59, so still under that 4-minute mark. Time on the clock now is 15 minutes. So I'll have to close with a 3:34 final kilometer in order to match my time from before. Let's see if I can find some energy for a final surge as we head into this final kilometer. Breathing is starting to get real heavy again. Pace is pushing down to 3:45. I'm gonna have to pick it up if I want to get across the line below 18:34. Come on, John. Let's find some energy. 800 meters left to go. Heart rate now at 184. Remember, my maximum is just 186, 185, 186, 187. Apparently, I now have a new max heart rate, so that shows just how hard I am working here. 700 meters left to go. Pace is now at 3:30 per kilometer. I need to get past this tree, and then it's another 600 meters to the finish line. And it looks like we're running this one on my own. I can't see anyone immediately ahead. 16:24, 16:25 on the clock. So just over 2 minutes to get home from this point. Let's see if I can make it happen. And the finish line is going to come into sight just around the corner. Once we're past this set of trees, then we're into the open area and we're through to the final push. And there it is, we're onto the grasslands, into the final 400 meters. This is just one lap of the track, 17:05 on the clock. I've got 1:25 to get home. Pace at 3:30. Heart rate, again, is really high, 183, 184. I need to keep on pushing. .7 Ks into this. I've worked so hard. It's just 200 meters left to go. Pace down to 3:25 now. Again, hitting that max heart rate. How much do I want it? How much do I want to push? I really need to give it everything I can. This is where the mental toughness is formed. And finally, I can see the finish line. It's just on the other side of this oval. 100 meters left to go. 18:05 on the clock, just 20 seconds. I just have 20 seconds to get home. I'm again hitting a new max heart rate of 187. I have never seen numbers like this before. Pace down to 320. Let's see if I can get it down even further. 325. 18:22 on the clock. 18:24. Let's see if I can get below that 18:34. There's the finish line, and crossing the line right there. That's the parkrun done. So probably pretty predictably, I blew up around the end of the 3K mark. So 4th kilometer was by far the slowest. However, 18:30, that's a little bit quicker than last time. So good progress. And here's some of the training stats from this week. I've been hovering around 80 to 90 Ks, and I think that's about the volume I'm going to have to sustain if I want to keep on making progress towards this 17-minute park run.